Armani, SOS, Zest, GSL Season 1, Code S, Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, Live, LG Ultra Gear, and Hot 6, 2021, GSL Season 1.
What's up, everybody? We're back, and we're ready to eliminate one of our two players. Armani versus Zest is up next.
All right, Armani Zest. This could be a very good match, I think. I can't wait to see what Zest actually has prepared for PvZ at the moment. He's very oftentimes the leader of the matchup strategically. Armani didn't look bad, especially Game 2. Game 1, he kind of got caught off guard there. Trap was saying in the interview that Zergs are playing too comfortably, so he wanted to get him. And that's something that Zest is very good at. He's good at getting them.
Good at getting them. This should be a great match, actually, these two guys.
I think it'll be pretty good. But, yeah, maybe Zest is a little favored here.
Well, he's always a safe bet, right? But Armani's been working hard. I mean, I really do appreciate this guy's story, you know, especially that he's been improving, you know, more and more as the years pass here.
Sure.
After oftentimes being in the background of the StarCraft 2 Korea scene, really. We're going to go on to Romanticide for map 1. This is Armani versus Zest.
2021, GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world, seized the stakes. Living a life
Africa Freaks, Armani. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest.
So, you know, just the hatchery block. Goes ahead and decides to take that as the first expansion. Going down the ramp. I wonder what that signifies. Zest check the other base first, thinking that might be the one. But with Armani taking that one, does that mean that he wants to stage an attack?
Yeah, let's find out.
He's kind of going a little bit closer towards us. Hard to say.
You know, sometimes you can take these positions where, you know, your opponent's trying to interfere with your pretty ordinary development and then turn that into some kind of an attacking spot, something like that. We will see. You know, Zest historically, excuse me, Zest historically has really been the guy that showed us what you can get away with Adepts. But the Adept has been a unit that has, I think, not aged well as far as the meta is concerned. Like, it's still good, and there's still builds you can do with it, but, you know, I always, whenever I think about the Adept and how over the top it was, there was a cast I was doing, I think this was at SPO TV, and was I solo casting it, or was I can't remember. It was a long time ago, but it was like watching Maru do everything amazing in the world to try to hold off Adepts.
Yeah.
And I'm getting hype along with it, and I'm starting to scream even more, and then I'm starting to realize even Maru's not going to stop the Adepts.
Yeah.
And they got nerfed more and more and more.
Yeah, that was fun.
As time passed, but also I think the Adept was a unit that was so novel in that we didn't have units that moved like that, especially in big groups. But people have also just sort of learned how to deal with it, learned how to trace the shades.
And its stats used to be a lot better, right? So it did get significant nerfs. But yes, like, and we talked about this a little bit last time when Zaun was playing, I think, where the Adept, what it does is mostly tactical. There's actually not very much micro with it, and it's not a unit that scales all that well. So when you're beating someone with it, it's mostly tactical and tricky moves. Yeah. And over time, those are the exact moves that do not get better, you know? Like, you can every now and then, and this is part of the reason why Adepts rotate in and out of the metagame, is because people become unused to countering them and their movements. But the more you use them, and that's why, like, for a while, that Adept build, like, people were not really using Adepts, and then the Adept build that Zest made not this past Katowice, but the one before that, where he got second place to Rogue. Like, that was crushing for months, but people got better and better and better and better against it. And it's like the Protoss can improve certain amounts with that type of unit, but there becomes a cap to how good it can get, right? And then it kind of rotates out.
Yeah, they got this Oracle actually taking quite a bit of damage, almost gets picked off, actually. And I like what you said about that with the adepts. It's, you know, it is very true. These are the things that, like, everybody has to learn to deal with.
Yeah.
Whether it's adepts or even these other rushes that come along, but eventually you learn how to hold it.
There's all sorts of units that are actually like this. Hellbats. There's not any micro to Hellbats. It's just like, this is what the unit does, and once you get used to it, it's not that strong. Cyclones are very much like that, right? It's like, well, there's a certain way to lock on, and then a 2-year-old can click the Cyclone away and stay out of range. Like, you have to just know how to fight against it. But then you have other units that have like an infinite skill cap, like Blink Stalkers, Stim Marines with Medevacs, those types of things, right? Where it's like, okay, well, I mean, the world is your oyster with these units if you're good enough.
You can do a lot with that.
So yeah.
What do you think about this build here from Zest, double Stargate?
Oh, it's amazing. This is what I've been wanting to see. I actually was like just talking to you and looking at you, but no, it's good to see, right? He goes directly into carrier. Oh,
wow,
that's kind of cool.
I was about to say he's going to make a bunch of Void Rays and then go directly into carriers, but
well, we saw something like this where it was like 2 carriers into gateways, right? Who did that the other day? Earlier on in the tournament. If I could look at the groups real quick, I'd know that instantly. But anyways, look, I'm excited to see it. Like the 2 carriers, obviously, if something very quick came, it would be harder to hold. But he does have double Oracle, and he's not like over-committing with them. He did almost lose that first one, but they have pretty high energy, and they're keeping tabs on what's going on. So he's going to have the carriers out in time to defend if anything comes.
Yeah, this is, I do wonder, you know, just looking at this, is this something that is, idea-wise, intended to surprise the Zerg more? Like, the Zerg is just expected a more normal game, or would he at least be looking for the Void Rays to kind of signal, oh, the carriers are coming? Because it hasn't been scouted yet.
Yeah, it's going to now with the Overseer coming in. But the thing is, carriers scale perfectly well. Like, they're really, really strong, right? So he will scout this, but I don't think that, you know, he just has to go into a macro game. It's not like he can just go attack or anything right now. All right, so he's actually going to start clearing some creep with him. That's kind of interesting. There is a Spire on the way here for Armani.
Now, do you want to go harder and harder into air with this, or are you trying to flip back into gateway tech?
Yeah, that is the question, isn't it?
I'm still learning.
Honestly, Romanticide, I want to see Zest just play a Sky Toss game.
Okay.
I think that is very doable because you can like mine those minerals, and then that 4th base is easy. And honestly, the 5th base isn't that far away.
Now, this is a disaster.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is crazy. There's so many links coming in now. Probes have to be pulled. And I mean, I think the idea of what Zest wanted to do was pretty cool, but you do need to have the entrance corked.
Definitely a mistake here. 17 probes. That is absolutely brutal. Now, he's actually going for a Void Rays, a little switcheroo into that. Maybe he's expecting a big group of Corruptors to come across the map. Yeah, and there are the Corruptors.
Here they come. A lot of workers killed here.
Yeah, it really was.
Big, I mean, you know, kind of a needless loss. This is really just an error in kind of the you know, you need to check a couple boxes for your defense, right? And one of them is have that entrance closed.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit sad, actually, because we're not going to see what a clean Zest carrier game would have looked like. If Zerg can win. Zerg has a lot of opportunities from that successful attack, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, with Zest, it's very likely that he has something mathematically figured out where it's like, okay, I make this many, and it forces one of these 2 or 3 reactions, and this is how I crush that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, right now he's kind of forcing Corruptors out, and he's adding Void Rays, but look at this. He's getting charge behind it. So if your opponent is on Corruptors to counter your air, like either A, they don't counter it and you win, or B, they counter it, but they have so many Corruptors that suddenly your ground army becomes pretty scary. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing here. Robo on the way, he's still making voids. Charge is going to be finishing up. I actually thought he might go into like Blink or something, but...
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Instead, this is going to be a very steady push out. I think he's just taking a fourth here, right? He's not pushing. Oh no, he's still on 3 bases. I thought there was a probe under that army. Zerg's going up to 5 bases. Things are picking up very quickly here.
Yeah, his economy hasn't really been hiccuped at all. He's had a good worker count for quite some time. And, I mean, you can't really do too much against this. Skytoss is very good defensively. Very, very hard to break. And, like, even if he sent the Corruptors over and was able to do something, which you probably aren't going to be able to because he knows that you're going for Corruptors, so he's making Void Rays, right? But, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to kill a building and then turn around and go home until that they have their ability cooldown? Like,
I might.
Yeah, no. Well, you should, but that's all you're going to get done. But yeah, a lot of gateways being made, so definitely we're going to have to switch into a gateway army.
Yeah.
Has those Archons in there to make the Corruptors
but he
that
never
much
got
worse.
Did he get Forges, though, like for upgrades? I don't think we've had upgrades for Protoss.
Yeah,
so this is like you could switch into ground, but you're going to have a worse army.
Well, he's going 4th base as well. Yeah, it's very interesting. Maybe it's a do what you can with the ground army, but switch back into Skytoss. I don't know. He did get +1 air attack. I know that much.
Because I like the idea of the ground switch, but you have to have the upgrades behind it.
You would think so.
This is actually an old idea in StarCraft that sometimes you'll see this big tech switch and it looks great, but you didn't actually build up to it with your upgrades, and it's actually terrible then.
Okay, removing a lot of creep. The Corruptor's actually coming up from behind. Zest being a little bit sloppy there.
Yeah.
Loses 1 carrier for free.
That's a pretty big deal, man. I mean, the carriers are one of the best things you have, and to lose 1 out of the 4,
yeah,
that's
25% of your carriers gone.
Yeah,
25%.
Right, 25%. More Warpins coming, more Archons coming. He's shuffling the spores down. There's a Ling counterattack. We don't have it on camera yet, but this is a pretty big deal because there's nothing protecting this. This is huge, actually. He can actually get the Nexus for that.
Ooh. Yeah, a lot of probes and the Nexus. Well, I guess we get to see how this attack does. A bunch of spores running forward, but obviously the gateway units can deal with that a little bit. I mean, I'm not really sure if this is going to be able to do it, Tases. It seems like Armani's just holding everything.
Yeah, I think Armani's just going to win the game. I mean, there's not that much on the ground, so maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I see all the air units are dead, but even though there's not that many upgrades, I guess if you only have Corruptors,
that's
what else can you do? I guess, actually, he's going to just keep pushing here.
He is. He took a lot of damage at home, but I guess it's all right.
Oh, now there's Mutas coming out.
He lost his Prism, though. Yeah, the Mutas, I guess you can use the Mutas to try to hold, but your opponent does have double Stargate and +1, so they could counter that pretty hard as well.
Yeah, these Roaches are doing all right. Yeah, the Mutas are... Oh, I'm sorry, those are Corruptors. I was suddenly like, there's suddenly a bunch of Mutas over there. All right, here we go. That's what our toast was talking about.
Well, the Archons are going to make that look really silly. He loses all of them instantly. All right, a yank here on that Immortal, and it looks like it's finally held. But who came out on top on this? Because Zest lost his 4th base and a ton of probes. Armani threw away his Corruptors, lost 32 drones and a base.
This has been a bloodbath of a game.
It really
like, this is
been.
really
He does have
crazy.
+2 attack, by the way, Zest. I just saw that upgrade tab, so yeah.
Good.
That was, wow. This is a very strange game. I feel like if Zest hadn't taken that initial damage, he would have steamrolled Armani there.
I think you're probably right. I think as crazy as that fight was, the biggest story of the game so far is when the Lings and the Roaches got in there and started to do just an insane amount of damage.
And then even that Ling counterattack that we saw in the 4th, to kill that Nexus and like 11 or 12 probes there, well, that's brutal for Zest as well, because if he had that up and running right now, imagine what his economy would look like. Just so much better.
So Zerg is going to have to be ready for another push from Zest here. Zest is coming out on the map once more, but he doesn't have a ton. In fact, I don't think he's really committed. There's no Warp Prism with this army. The 4th base is being reclaimed. I think we're going to have some time for both of the players to lick their wounds and try to rebuild back up. After that huge fight that we had, they were both under 100 supply. They lost a lot, but we don't have any more carriers here. I don't know if he's going to incorporate them a little bit later on. We do have Void Rays that are out, but we seem to be steering this game back into like a normal-looking PvZ.
Kind of, yeah.
Right?
Like we have Roach Ravager and then Vipers, which is kind of funny, and then we have like an almost normal-looking ground army, but then some Void Rays above it. Yeah, I'm not sure how this game is going to end up turning out. Both sides have gotten up to reasonable worker counts here so far, 70 against 60. Armani in the lead there. High Templars, I think, a very important thing to add into this army now. That is a scary force. Don't see a Prism. Does have that Observer to clear some of this creep, though.
Ooh, catches that one Archon. Beautifully done. Gets another one.
Oh,
that one gets away, though.
Sick Vials there as well. Psystorm going down.
Yeah, and it does not appear that Zest is going to back off. Some Hydra's going to come down here with the rest of this mix. But this is a pretty aggressive push here from Zest. He's powering through some excellent storms again.
Yeah, a lot of good Vials are coming down, but Zest is splitting pretty darn well. Some more Zealots coming in for the flank. Yanks for the Immortal, then Stalkers actually blink in front of it, and it lives, and it looks like Zest is going to take him down. GG. Zest wins game number 1.
Very cool stuff there from Zest. I mean, considering what a insanely bad spot he got into with that Ling Roach attack to start, that he powered through it. We almost had the game reset after the first major fight, where Zest did not kill Armani with the push, but Zest reassembled, came in looking twice as strong.
Yeah.
And with excellent control, actually closed that out.
A lot of things went as well as they could have for Armani, and he still lost the game. So that's definitely an issue. Definitely, like, what Zest brought to the table here today, I think is much better than a lot of the other PvZs we've seen this round.
I agree. I totally agree.
Not Trap, but maybe everyone else.
We're going to Deathera. Kong versus Godzilla versus Deathera. That's the movie I want to see. You still haven't seen that, right?
I will never see it.
Don't go see it. It's
no
so
worries,
bad.
Faceless. Don't gotta tell me that twice.
It's so bad.
2021 GSL Season 1.
We stood at the edge of the world. Seize the stakes.
Africa Freaks, Armani. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Zest has planned this game. Because, yeah,
Well, he's definitely not going to do that build again.
You don't think so? I think he might.
Really?
I think there's a decent chance. I think in a best of 3, Zest brings 1 to 2 strats generally.
I think we're going to see his 2 strat then.
Okay.
That was his 1 strat.
Okay, okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he can just do that.
It actually looked very, very good, but the Lings and Roaches got in and they made it much closer than it should have been.
Are you not supposed to go get some Void Rays first? It just seems like you're supposed to be having a couple Void Rays. I felt like that was the thing that I think it's fine to get carriers in a game, but to do it off of almost nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what surprised me. That's why I don't think you could have a repeat build like that.
Well, I think the Oracles were giving him enough intel where he could have gone Void Ray, but then he realized he could go carrier, right? Like, I think he can switch paths because you probably have to start producing before he starts the carriers, and then you can just make Void Rays and be all right. But the thing is, even the Void Ray build, Zest invented it. Like, that's actually his build that he showed everyone. Like, so the thing is, I feel like anytime I'm watching Zest play, whatever we're seeing is cutting edge. Like, he's bringing stuff. He's either bringing stuff that he already invented a long time ago and he hasn't updated yet, or he's bringing something that's like, okay, it's time for us to learn from this.
Yeah. Okay, the probe is being checking around over here. We got that Stargate already.
I like
Could be
it.
coming.
That's what I want. I want the Stargate. Now let's see if it's double Oracle, or maybe opens with the Void Ray, kill off the Scouting Overlords and things like that.
Yeah, this is.
You know, Armani actually has his Overlord turned around and leaving, and maybe this is a stylistic thing. Maybe this is why he didn't go for any, because a lot of people go Void Ray first and clear the Overlord that's near their base. I actually wasn't paying super close attention at the beginning of that last game, but maybe this is an Armani-specific thing where he likes to run his Overlords back and just not lose any. Right? People have weird things that they do like this.
You know what I was thinking? Is it possible to just Nidus someone who's going carriers? Wouldn't that just kill them?
Oh, if they're going carrier? Yeah, if
but
it gets up, I could see it. I could see it. Well, with the Void Rays, like if you're going the standard Void Ray build, no, I think that holds it. I think that because like the quickest attack you can actually get there is not the Nidus, it's the Queens walking across the map build. And if you're non-stop on 2 Stargate Void Ray and you build shield batteries and produce out of like your 2 gates, you generally hold that. We saw a lot of Zergs just bash their head against that build trying that, and that's a little bit quicker than the Nidus one.
But the Nidus you could do somewhere in the main where they might not have the batteries and everything ready, and there's important tech that can be turned off.
But if you do go for the Void Rays, then you shouldn't be able to get an Overlord in there easily. Like, they should have hunted it down already, so it's like hard to get the Nidus in, I think. But yeah, if you got somewhere without like shield batteries and stuff, definitely. All right, defends this pretty well.
2 gates now.
All right, and a Twilight, so I'm guessing it's Glaives.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Can't let the Glaives build.
Zest is like, it's time to bring it back.
Yeah.
Time to give the fans what they want.
The fans what they want.
The fans are cheering.
And all the fans, Zerg players, Protoss players, Terran players especially, we just want to see more Glaives against Zerg.
They see the Glaives and it being Chrono Boost, and everybody goes, yeah, screaming. This is it. Shade your depth. Here we go. My Glaive pom-poms are out. Go, Zest.
Yep, it is being made. Third Nexus is going to be finished up. Now, this is not like the super fully dedicated one. Baneling Nest is coming.
Not an all-in. Still plenty of options for where he wants to take the game from here.
Actually, a little bit. Oh, actually gets off. Wow.
Nice.
I actually thought he was going to get the Oracle, and then we looked away, and then it just got it off. Okay, cool.
Okay, more and more depths are being made. Now, he sent out a small amount. You'd see that initial amount of adepts, and you wouldn't necessarily assume this is like a committed attack. And so now he knows.
Yes. All right, he has 6 Banelings morphing, so that's probably what will follow the Shades. This, I could see this attack doing something, right? Normally you have Roaches with this. Oh, he actually finishes a Shade on creep. That could be slightly problematic.
Yeah, the Baneling, it's a very nice connect over there. There are some more Banes morphing here. If you can get these Banes just on top of those Shades, they do not manage to do so. Now, just like Marines, you can target the Banes with your Adepts.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard. The range is not super great, but can be done. I love that wall-in that he did at his natural to stop the Shades from going up.
Yeah, that was a very smart move from him back there. Melee attack's almost done. We do have more gates coming down. We have a Robo about to finish. But I don't know that right now the Protoss can do that much more damage. But really, this was just like the appetizer attack.
You're right about that. 6 gateways on the way, so it's going to be a 10-gate push coming up.
That's going to be pretty strong.
Yeah, it is. It's just still warping into depths. Warp Prism on the way. Hydralisk Den coming up. Okay.
I mean, this is going to be a tough one to hold, but I think Armani can do this. It would be great if he caught this.
Yeah.
Because he could actually surround that, and then you could probably even catch some of the shading Adepts that are going away.
This is pure Adepts. Like, this is
what the fans
gate
wanted.
Adept with three sentries. That's what this is.
Everybody's getting excited. The Zest fans are showing each other their Adept tattoos.
You know, I just have a shade tattoo on my back, and I'm like, nah, you know where it finishes.
Goes right down Artosis' butt crack.
Yeah. All right, so Stalker's being warped in here to help out.
Yeah. He needs to push in a little bit further. Okay, he's now going to drag his army through.
Oh my
Very
God.
nice force field.
Yeah, everything kind of getting stuck there. Little group of Adepts up at the top does get picked off. But he's on top of this third base. Throwing down some very good force fields. Of course, we don't have any Ravagers to stomp on them.
Yeah. Another big warp in here. The Queens are going to try to come and rush down the Warp Prism. They do kill it, but the warp-in does complete.
Yeah, I think he has enough damage to just kill all of this. He should probably... Oh, he actually lets the Shade finish.
Where are we doing? All right, there we go.
Okay,
We're going over here.
Yeah, the Stalkers definitely weren't going to win over there. He finishes this and is getting so many drones.
Oh, the Stalkers are not finished, Artosis.
My gosh. Yeah, I guess not. Well, I think that might be it for the last Zerg in this round.
Yep.
32 workers killed.
Yeah, even though I think the Zerg is going to eventually kill off these Adepts, the infrastructure has been just destroyed. 30 to 60. That's it. GG, Zest wins. Give me one more of them PvPs.
All right, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to get, because Armani, unfortunately, last place in his group. Not the result he was looking for here today.
No.
But honestly, like, Trap and Zest both look pretty damn good PvZ right now.
I agree. Beautifully done there by Zest. And this is going to be a high note to end on. It's hard to know who to root for.
The rematch of SOS Zest, yeah, and I mean, they're both kind of very old school Protosses at this point with just huge careers behind them. And I don't, like, SOS beat him last time, but I don't think that actually means anything. I think this is like a coin flip matchup.
Yeah, I think it's very possible SOS could win. Guys, tiny break. Then when we come back, we're going to advance that last player to the round of 8. SOS versus Zest. Coming at you.